All right, hello, loves, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a returning guest. My name is Saida, and I am just coming. It's that time of the week again, and it seems like the time is just going so fast. But I hope that your week has been going well. For me, I think the best thing to talk about is basically what has been going on in my week, and that is just the struggle to keep going. Today, I just want to encourage you to keep going. Like, even though things may be rough, even though you may be going through a lot every day, and you might feel like you just feel overwhelmed, or you feel tired, or you just feel like, what are you doing and why? And, life can get rough sometimes. And so, for me, it's been a lot of different thoughts and emotions this week, just because life has been lifing to the point where, like I've mentioned before, I am a flight attendant. I am gone a lot, and I have been gone so much. As you can see, I'm in a different setting. I'm at one of my hotels on my layovers. I literally should be asleep right now because we just got here about an hour and a half ago or so. But we leave at our flight starts at 4 a.m. and it's already 7:45 p.m. So I won't be before you long. But I just wanted to say, just to encourage everyone, like, don't give up and don't grow weary in well doing. Like, sometimes it can be hard because it's just like, Lord, when am I going to see the results? There's people in the Bible who waited years to see results. There's what was it? I don't even want to name anybody's name right now because right now I am not the most clear headed, and I don't know if I can say the correct Bible characters that and what they did. But there was people that waited a long time in the Bible for a lot of different things, and they had to continue to keep going even when it seemed like they were getting nowhere. I want to say, was it Jacob who worked 7 years? I don't know. Don't beat me up if it wasn't him. Like I said, it's been a long day. I've been working. I did 4 flights today. I'm about ready to just doze off right now. But there was somebody who worked 7 years for the woman, and he ended up getting her sister Leah, and then he had to work another 7 years for her. But he had to continue to work, even though it wasn't, he wasn't seeing the results that he wanted right away. He had to continue to work. There's a lot of different people, like I said, I'm not going to go into right now because I can barely, um I'm barely awake right now, so I'm not going to go all into that. But I just wanted, for me, I needed to be encouraged this week, like, just to keep going, even though it seems like things are not, like, I don't see the progress, or I don't see, the harvest right now, but I know that it's coming. And on my last video, I mentioned that I was working on a project right now for my business, and so it's actually coming this upcoming weekend. And so I've only had 2 weeks, and I it's just been a struggle because I feel like I don't have enough time because I'm working every day, and I've only had 2 days off, and then when I was working on my projects on those 2 days that I was off. But one thing that I noticed is, like, I started to, like, um, kind of get overwhelmed, and it's like I know that I was getting overwhelmed because I hadn't really spent as much time with God as, like, I usually would, reading my word and praying, and doing devotional and meditating on the word day and night. I've still been reading and stuff, but it's been like a quick read, like, okay, gotta go to work, or I'm at work and I'm like rushing, I'm trying to read it, or I'm like, okay, I gotta work on these projects because everything I do by hand, and so it takes a really long time sometimes. And so I'm like, okay, I got to work on this. I got to work on that. And I've kind of been doing stuff and like listening online to sermons and stuff, but I haven't really been like connecting with God. And so I felt it, like when you, start to just get away from God, you just really have to like hone in and like connect back to the Lord. And so that is actually what happened. What is today? Today is Monday. So yeah, yesterday I was actually really feeling the pressure, like kind of like burdened or whatnot. And I went to church, and while I was there, I was just, how you just feel like heavy, you just feel burdened. What is it? Heavy laden. And I was just like, man, like I wanted to worship and I wanted to like release, but like I just felt so heavy, and I just felt like, man, like what am I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. And it's like, how can you do more when you're already, tired and overwhelmed with what you're doing, and it's like, I need to be resting because God called us to rest. But it's like, in my mind, it's like, I need to do more. I need to do more. Like, I don't have enough done. I don't have this done. I don't have that done. This is not working the way that I planned it. Work is making me work. And then I'm trying to work on this, and then I'm just not feeling like I'm seeing the progress. And I ended up going to the early service, which is unusual for me because on whenever I can, I like to sleep in whenever I can, because with this job, like I said, we start at 4. Our first flight starts at 4, so I got to get up at least at 3, and I'm not a morning person like that. Okay. And yeah, so I am when I'm at home, I like to try to get my sleep in. But anyway, I feel like I couldn't sleep yesterday, and so the Lord woke me up, I guess, and I was just laying there, and I was like, oh man, like I want to go back to sleep. But I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm just going to get up and go to the early morning service because I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. And I'm just going to lay here the whole time thinking like you need to get up and go to church. Because last week I didn't go because I was so tired, and I woke up and I was up for like, you're like halfway asleep, but you're not. And I was like in and out, like, ugh, you need to get up for church. You need to get up for church. And I was like, no, I'm tired. And so I was like battling with myself, but it was like I didn't get any extra sleep because I was sitting there battling with myself on if I was going to get up and go to church. And so, and then I had to work yesterday. So anyway, I ended up going to church to the early service, and God knows, everything that, he had me go to that service because there was a friend of mine who happened to be there, and I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice her. I didn't even know where she was or anything. But she texted me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, and when I looked, I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she knew, like something's not right. And so she came over and like hugged me and sat with me and stuff. And just her presence really helped. And then also just like the message, he was talking about, don't get weary in well doing. Like, continue on in whatever it is that God has called you to do. And then I heard another message. And it's like whenever I'm dealing with something, it seems like the messages that I hear, and I don't, maybe I search for those or something, but and then the algorithm just keeps pulling them up. But it seems like the messages that I tend to hear is like what I'm dealing with, or I'll keep hearing it and I'm like, dang, am I dealing with this? And so I was also listening to another message, and she was just saying like how, she had to keep getting up praying for months and months, and she was so excited because she thought that God was going to show her this great encounter with him through praying every day. And she got really bored because it's like she's waking up at 5 in the morning, she's praying, she's reading her Bible, and like it was really just nothing happening. And then eventually, after a few months, God had it showed her an encounter, and it was just like, because she was consistent, that's whenever God came in and he showed himself, to her in the situation. And that's basically what it is. I know that even when we are, getting ready to like break through into a different, um, you know, uh, portion of whatever it is that's coming, like then a lot of times we'll have a lot of opposition, and we'll have a lot of like, just feeling like overwhelmed and burdened and things like that. And I feel like for me, like, because I'm like gearing up, it's crazy because like I'm doing, my business is centered on like, it's faith based, inspirational, decorative items or display items. But it's like, I still have to connect with the Lord on a regular basis. I'm doing this for him, but it's like I still have to connect with him. And so actually last night, when I got to my hotel, I just, I went into praise and worship because it had been maybe a week or so, since I really had just silenced everything and like went into praise and worship. Like I've been praising and worshiping, I've been praying, I've been reading, like I said, but it hasn't been the fullness of like my attention, because it's like my attention is divided. Like I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done, I gotta get this done for work, I gotta get this done for this. And so it's like I feel like God just was calling me to have that uninterrupted time where I'm just like, okay, center on the Lord and not anything or anyone else. So, and then I had a crazy dream, which I don't want to talk about, but I'm glad that I did, because I'm glad that I did do praise and worship, because I don't know what was going on in that hotel, but the dream, it was just, yeah, I would have to explain it. I don't want to explain it because it's just not. But it was a scary dream, because it was like, what does that mean in the spiritual realm for what I saw in the dream, and but anyway, back to what I was saying. Anyway, all I'm saying is, I so from the church experience and from her, like, God allowed her to see me, and to, for her to come over and to say something, because it was like I really did need someone to just notice, or not even notice, but it's like just having like a shoulder to lean on, or somebody that, just like checks and like, hey, are you okay? And it just shows that like God cares about if we're okay or not. And so from listening to the message at church, and then and he was just saying like, continue praying, like even though you feel like God is not hearing your prayers, or you don't see the anything happening right now, just continue praying. And so that's what it was like. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna continue praying. And then when I was listening to the other pastor earlier, she was saying continue praying and continue, being consistent and stuff. And so that's basically what I'm trying to do. And like I said, even in these videos, like I'm just trying to be consistent, and it doesn't matter, like, this is what God has told me to do, so this is what I got to do. So anyway, yeah, that just, it really encouraged me, because it was just like, God sees and he knows, even when we feel like we're alone, or we feel like we are, falling behind, or whatever the case is. Like we just have to draw back to him, draw nigh unto him, and like just continue to keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. Like even though it can get tiring, even though you feel like you're not getting anywhere, don't grow weary in well doing. And I know it sounds easier to say it than it is to do it. I've been there. I'm actually kind of there right now. But like, just continue to press into God, continue to do whatever it is that God is having you to do. And if you don't know what God is having you to do, of course, lean in more to him, pray more, fast more. But then also continue doing the good things, doing things that you have to do for life, life, going to work, taking care of family, just different things like that. And the reward, the latter will be greater. The reward is you'll see a harvest if you faint not. And so, just continue on in whatever it is, and don't give up, and don't quit, and don't try to like take matters into your own hands. Just trust in the Lord, and these things will be added to you. And I don't know, I just felt a renewed strength after going to church yesterday and having my friend, um, come and sit with me and talk to me. And then also, after hearing the messages and stuff, and it's like, even though I don't see it right now, I know that God is good and I know that He's going to do it. And so that hope just keeps me going. And so I just wanted to encourage you, just keep going, just keep going. And if you feel burdened, if you feel, heavy, go to God and praise and worship, because I'm telling you, like, it really can help you to break free of whatever it is. Because just from the way I was feeling yesterday morning to like today, like it's just like a totally different, state of mind that I feel like I'm in. So yeah, said it multiple times. That's all I got to say. Because like I said, my a little tired right now. But anyway, God is good, and I'm just grateful that He will renew our strength and that He's still there for us. And so just trust in Him, and don't grow weary. And if you are growing weary, reconnect with God and just continue to go and continue to do it. And then also read like the stories of those people in the Bible who did have to, that it wasn't just months or days, it was years for a lot of them before they actually got whatever it is that they were seeking from the Lord. And then sometimes it's our own will. It's like if God is wanting you to do these certain things, then sometimes you have to do these certain things in order to get the blessings that He's trying to give you. And we're often prideful and stubborn and, rebellious and everything else. And so we don't want to take the steps that God is telling us to take, like just to get to where we're wanting to get. And so then, of course, it feels like it's a never ending battle and it feels like we're not progressing. And then that's whenever we start to grow weary. Whenever, if we would actually just draw nigh unto Him, and if we would actually just like pray and actually seek after Him and spend more time in relationship with Him, then He would make our path straight. He would give us the desires of our heart, because our desires would align with the desires that He wants for us. So anyway, like I said, don't give up. Keep going. Don't grow weary. If you are weary, press in. And I just pray that the Lord will meet you where you are. Just the same way as He sent someone to meet me, and yeah, I just pray that He will renew your strength, and He will show you that your your work is not in vain. Whatever it is that you're doing when you're being obedient to God, it's not in vain. It's only in vain if you're doing it for yourself or for other things or people, and that's idolatry. But anyway, so yeah, um, don't give up and keep going, keep being consistent. And if you need to hear about being consistent, then go listen to my other video that I will put. I'll link below on consistency is key. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for rocking with me. If you have came back for more than one video, I'm still learning. I'm still growing in this period of my life where I've never even done this before. And then, talking on camera and all that stuff. So I'm still getting used to it. I still don't know how to add music. I still don't know how to do all that. And, but yeah, I do thank y'all for coming back, and thank you for your support. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. And, hopefully soon, once I get some other things in order, I can start breaking into that real stuff that I'm gonna end up sharing, which I'm not too happy about, because that's my business. But people like to know other people's business. So but no, I really just want to share what the real life, stuff, that like the deeper stuff. This is real stuff, but like the deeper stuff that God has brought me through, because if you only knew, if you only knew. So hopefully soon I'll be able to start sharing some deeper stuff of like where my testimony of like what God has really done for me and what he's really brought me through. And I just want you to know, it doesn't matter whatever you're going through, God can bring you through, and he can change you and he can rearrange you, and like nobody, you won't look like what you've been through, you know? So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and please like, comment, subscribe, and please come back to see other videos. All right. Bye, loves.